now we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to hear from our friends over in Greeley, Ben Snow, who is the Director of City of Greeley Department of Economic Health and Housing, and Jayme Schledewitz. And Jayme, please forgive me if I've failed at my pronunciation, but she is the project director for the Bonnell project that is being undertaken in partnership with the city and the United Way of Weld County. And they're going to share another success story in transitioning some of our fellow residents from homelessness. So with that, Ben, Jayme, the floor is yours.
Good morning, afternoon. Can you hear me okay? Okay, cool.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me just get I have one little slide movement to make, and then we'll get rocking here. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. As Joe said, we're pleased to spend a little time with you this afternoon. We're going to share some of the success we've had this past year in executing a pilot program to address sheltering and homelessness during the pandemic. My name is Benjamin Snow, and I serve as the director for the city's Department of Economic Health and Housing. I've had the pleasure of working in depth this past year with our friends at United Way of Weld County, among other service providing groups. And today I'm joined by Jayme Schledewitz, Bonell Project Director, who will share more details in just a minute. But first, I'd like to share our approach to housing by using this graphic of our housing ladder. Each rung represents a different type of housing. Emergency and supportive represent the rungs typically for folks earning under 30% of AMI. Non-market, which includes both affordable and workforce, ranges between 30 and 120% of AMI. And then finally, near the top, we have market housing, which includes 100% and above. You will notice that at the bottom of this ladder, there is no rung. This is our view of the homeless population. It is still part of a housing ecosystem, and our goal is to find ways to provide access to the first rung on this ladder, with the hope that progression on the ladder is maintained. What we experienced this past year at the Bonell pilot project is remarkable and will be very instructive to us as we move forward to more permanent solutions. Now I'd like to introduce Jayme, as I said, the Bonell Project Director, who will share a little more with you of some of those successes. Jayme?
Hello. So this is the Bonell non-congregate shelter. That's the front view. So when you first come to the shelter, that is the guest room. So some fun facts about Bonnell. So we opened in November of 2020, and since then we have served 93 guests. 28 of them have transitioned to housing, and we currently have 6 in the works, and 2 are going within the next month to housing. To date, we have 32 guests, and who is here at the shelter? We have myself, the director. There are 3 housing navigators, 2 are part-time and 1 is full-time. There's 6 different front desk staff, and we have 24/7 security. The housing navigators also will act as front desk staff when needed, and just having the same familiar faces has really been impactful to the guests and having a comfort. When you enter the shelter, we have double doors for security. So that's just for the safety of all the guests and for staff. We will never disclose if somebody is a resident or not, just for safety. The 24/7 staff at the front desk and the security is really important here because some of our guests just overall feeling a little uneasy at first. It helps them feel safer knowing they have somebody, and a lot of our guests don't sleep regular sleep schedules. So it's nice when they wake up in the middle of the night, they'll have a security guard they're used to or a front desk staff they're familiar with, and they can express their needs and really helps them focus on what they need for housing. This is the front lobby. So after you come through the double doors, security will wand you down. Just make sure you're safe to enter the building. If you need a mask, they'll provide you with a mask. And the front lobby changes seasons. We decorate for different holidays. So right now we're decorated for Halloween. And sometimes we'll have little events with the residents. The table in the front, we always have a seasoned tablecloth and put food out so that they have just snacks and everything. This is an example of one of the bedrooms here at the shelter. That was a single bedroom.
Sorry about that, Jayme.
That's okay. All our guests are provided clean linens when they arrive and brand new pillows. So that guest had moved the bed to that setup. So we give them some freedom to move the beds around. This was another bedroom. So that was a 2-bedroom apartment. We had a woman in there by herself. So she used the living room as her little TV room in the kitchen. And then off to the right was her bedroom. And then the room on the left stayed empty. And this is our community room. So guests use the TV. They really like to watch sporting events together, the news, and a lot of the guests will have a family style dinner with people they've become friends with or they've known prior to being at the shelter. We've noticed that a lot of the guests will sit and talk just about some of their fears of transitioning to housing and what barriers they have. So it's a really nice area for them to get together. We have different coloring sheets and games and crossword searches, and some people just come and have breakfast and read the paper down there. This was one of the guest kitchen. So when the guests come in, they have a mini fridge and a microwave in each kitchen. We provide weekly meals and we're very mindful of what they can and can't eat with just having a microwave. And there's also the food table where they can get whatever is out on the table. Guests are also allowed crock pots, air fryers, no hot plates, but they've gotten pretty crafty and they've taught us a lot of crock pot meals. This is a little project that I really enjoy about the shelter. We added a bunch of plants and foliage just to help it feel a little more comfortable. And some of the guests got creative and just took the plants and repotted them into different things they had found on the donation tables or throughout the building. One guest used some cowboy boots and made them into pots. And I thought that was really neat because it also showed how much that guest has grown since he's first come to the shelter. And then this is a project that staff and residents and I reached out to different people in the community assisted with. And it is our inspiration board of positive messages. So we had the guests write some messages and staff members, just different people, and it says throw kindness around like confetti. The guests got pretty upset with the shelter closing and just being reminded. So there was like this weird, eerie feeling, and we got creative and put all nice messages, and it was really, the guests really enjoyed watching it, like being put together and writing, and they would be on the smoker's patio and just kind of say like, hey, did you write something yet? Like, go look at it. So that was a fun part that we were able to do and just have everyone really come together.
So thanks so much, Jayme. We know this was quick, kind of rapid fire for everybody today, but here you'll see our contact information. And we would really love any questions if we have time for that now, Joe, but particularly if people have any follow-up in terms of the backstory on how this facility became available for this brief window. And we took advantage of that opportunity to really build a sense of community and create really some powerful success stories for people grabbing hold of that first rung on the housing ladder this past year. We're very proud of that and would love to share more should folks have any interest in engaging with us more on that.
Well, terrific. Benjamin, Jayme, thanks so much for that presentation. We'll open it up if there's any questions. Again, pop it into the chat. And Jayme, maybe you could speak while we're waiting to see if anybody has another question, but have you been able to monitor kind of the, if you will, the graduation of residents from the Bonell Center?
Yeah,
How many of them have found housing?
we were actually just working on that this morning. So apartment style housing, we had 28 guests go. We kind of broke it down to just everybody where they ended up, like everyone that's been served. We've had people go to nursing homes, mental health facilities, hospitals. We had a couple of people become incarcerated. Let's see. Someone else went to a rehab facility. So we broke it down, just kind of where everyone's gone and what type of housing they've gone to.
And so is there any kind of system for being able to follow those folks longitudinally to see how they progress in their transition back into
so
housing?
A lot of the guests will keep in contact with us. They'll either call the front desk to check in and let us know how they're doing. They reach out to the housing navigators. Some of them will call me. We've had guests pop on over just to see how they're doing. They'll be, I was in the area and I just wanted to stop by. We actually had a guest who was housed in the beginning. He showed up at the front door the other day. And then when he showed up, he was like, I was in the area and I just wanted to thank you all. We have another resident with house actually come donate clothing. So she likes to stop in like once every 2 weeks. She'll bring some food for us. And so it's been good.
That's terrific. Well, thanks so much for sharing that story. Again, I think another good story to end our afternoon on.